All right. Welcome, everybody. It is David Thomas. I got Mr. Jay Woolwine with me as always. Today, we're back at it. We're going to shoot your weekly dose of motivation, inspiration, and education like we always do. So, the purpose of these sessions are to motivate you, inspire you, obviously. And, there's plenty of times we talk directly about trading mindset, right? I say this every single week. Today is not one of those days, but consistency, which is what we are talking about today, is definitely something that's going to help you in your journey. You can apply everything that we're talking about today to trading. You can apply everything we're talking about today to all areas of your life. Could be your marriage, could be your job, could be your hobbies, your goals, your health, goals, whatever, right? So there's plenty of things that this will relate to. And today's topic is we're going to give you this tip to be consistent, to find consistency in something that you're working towards. In the past, whenever I was working towards a goal or trying to form this new habit, there was a problem that you kind of run into. I'm sure many people can relate to this. You run into it over and over again. Is for the first few days, you're super motivated, right? Maybe you went out and you bought new running shoes and you're like, this is it. All right, I got my running gear. I'm going to become a runner. I'm going to run a marathon, whatever it is, right? It almost feels effortless. Every day it's like I'm motivated. I've got it. But after the initial rush kind of wears off, you immediately start slacking, right? More snacking, but slacking is what I meant to say. You become inconsistent with your performance, and one day you'll do everything you're supposed to do. The next day you procrastinate, you fall into lazy behavior. And this can go on for years, and it did for me as well. Years of on and off, on and off, on and off performance. And then we found a way, right, and that works to help you become more reliable and overcome this issue.
Yeah. And that thing is to utilize the power of accountability, right? Being accountable to somebody else. The dictionary describes accountability as the fact of being responsible for what you do and able to give a satisfactory reason for the degree to which that happens, right? It sounds complicated, but in other words, it's basically taking responsibility for your actions and or inactions, right? And being able to give a legitimate reason for why you did it or why you didn't do it, right? And that's kind of the trick, right? Is we're not going to be accountable to ourselves, most of us, right? Like David said, we're going to start snacking, snacking and slacking, or both in my case. Uh, but often we're the worst judge of our own behavior, right? Or maybe the most accepting, right? We accept our weak excuses from ourselves simply because it's it's convenient, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can convince ourselves better than nobody else, right? We start accepting these limiting beliefs, these fears, these excuses, and precisely for that reason, because it's us. But we need to start outsourcing our accountability to other people, people we trust, people we respect, people we value, people that set a high standard not only for themselves but for us and won't let us off the hook easily. It could be a spouse, friend, colleague, mentor, or even a coach.
Yeah. Here's just an example for you. So let's say you want to build the habit of meditating for 10 minutes a day, right? And you could start a 30-day challenge. There's bunches of them out there. But if you assign an accountability partner, right? Somebody that you're going to check in with, right? And for 30 days in a row, you have to report to that person your progress, right? If you didn't meditate that day, you have to tell them. And what you're going to find out is that pretty soon your excuses are pretty lame, right? When you have to tell somebody that you didn't do what you're being held accountable for, right? I didn't meditate today because I had to get a second cup of coffee, right? Or whatever, whatever your lame excuse is that you thought was okay at the moment, you'll realize that it's really not that great. And if you have to show some, this is just a tip. If you try to have to show like some type of physical proof, right, of your progress, that's even better because then there's no way of cheating. It's not just me telling Dave, "Oh yeah, I meditated today," right? Now I don't know how you'd prove to somebody you meditated. Maybe I just look really calm, but for whatever your accountability is, if you had something to prove that you did it, it's just another thing to put you on the hook, right? To be responsible for that action.
Yeah, and no cheating allowed, right? Because in reality, you'll notice that your desired behavior becomes a lot more consistent whenever your accountability partner is involved. That's just really the way it is. Whenever you have to explain to somebody, like Jay said, why you procrastinated, you're much more likely to make sure that it happens. Where most of us, it, we don't have that much trouble accepting our own lies, but our excuses that we tell ourselves. It's much more pain psychologically to confess your lack of action or your failure to someone else, right? I'll let myself slide. Okay, I'll get back at it tomorrow. But the other person's going to be like, dude, you could have done that. Why'd you slip, man? You were doing so good, whatever, right? So especially if you value that person's opinion, that's going to be even that much harder. And that's why you want to find an accountability partner that you do value their opinion. Because as humans, we're social creatures. We know this, right? We, especially like in the past, our survival depended on our social environment. If we were accepted into that social environment.
Yeah. And if you got kicked out of the tribe, right? That meant a huge struggle for you, right? Or possibly you die, right? You're kicked out of the tribe. You don't get to come back in the cave. You got to go out and kill your own Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever. And even though we've evolved, right, since then, our brain still kind of runs on that same software, right? It's encoded in us, and that's why we're wired to do things that protect and enhance our own social status, right? So nowadays it's like psychological survival. It's not having to, hunt for your food for most people, right? And we care more about showing people that we're productive and consistent and reliable, right? Then we care more about showing it to ourselves, right? And subconsciously, we've come to realize that it's our social status that kind of enhances what other people think of us, right? And so we're just always striving to hit that, that social status where we'll feel better about ourselves because we think other people feel that way about ourselves, right? And that's how we strengthen our social position within our social group or even within a relationship.
Yeah, and at the same time, that means that we do a lot of things to avoid others perceiving us as lazy, inconsistent, unreliable, right? I mean, if somebody described you that way, that hurts, right? So you go out of your way to make sure that that doesn't happen.
You
And
say
so,
that to me all the time.
oh, well, it doesn't hurt you. But just take New Year's resolutions, for example. People set good intentions to, quit smoking, quit drinking, exercise more often, eat better. But they usually 3 weeks into the new year, they're back to their normal things. And why? That's because they relied on themselves. They told themselves they're going to do that. And after that initial motivations wore off, they're back to their old behavior and they're experiencing the negative effects of that behavior that they wanted to stop in the first place.
Yeah. And a more reliable way for David's example of New Year's, New Year's resolutions, right? A more reliable strategy to kind of turn your resolution into a success would be to assign a couple of accountability partners, right? Maybe you make a mastermind of 3 or 4 people they all have, or you all have New Year's resolutions that you all want to keep, right? And you're accountable to everybody. So maybe you schedule a weekly meeting or a monthly, Zoom session, and you get on, and whether it's online or offline, you share your progress, right? Your results, your intermediate goals, and just knowing that you have to explain to that group of people, right, why you didn't get it done, right, why you didn't make any progress, can oftentimes be enough to keep you from letting that happen, right? From actually taking action and doing those things that led to your resolutions, right? So, excuse me. On the other hand, knowing that you can share your wins, right, and your successes with those other people, that's for a lot of people even more motivating, right? It's we always toot our own horn, right? Even if we don't think that's what it is, right? We want that adulation, right, from other people. So, and that will push you towards getting that job done.
Yeah, it creates that environment that helps you stay consistent. It's a much more reliable way of achieving those goals and building those habits compared to just doing it alone. All right. That's why coaching is so powerful. Aside from learning something that you didn't know from this more experienced person, that coach usually holds you accountable for your actions. I mean, if you take, for instance, our trading community, you're supposed to journal your trades. We can't help you. I mean, yeah, we can teach you, we can go over stuff, but if you're like, hey, what happened here? I'm like, okay, show me what you got. I don't have anything, but I can explain it. I can tell you about it. That doesn't work, right? We ask you to journal those trades, so you're accountable for that, so we can help, you know, guide you in the right direction, right? And accountability partners, the good thing is they can give insight as well, right? They don't just like, hey man, you messed up, get back on the horse, but they can actually, when you run into problems, say like you have an accountability partner for your business, when you run into problems, they might be able to give insight that maybe you don't have. It's a different point of view that might help you solve whatever problem you're facing. So it's an incredible thing. It really is much more than just, make sure you're doing that thing. It can be a really good, like you said, kind of a mastermind to help you overcome problems that you're going to face, and in the process, helping you be more consistent on the things that you need to do.
Yeah, and that's the power of the mastermind, right? Is having that group, whether you call it pressure or just accountability, right? And we encourage you guys to use that power of accountability to your advantage, right? If you have some particular goal that you want to achieve, or maybe it's a habit you want to get rid of, right? It's not just something achieving. It could be something you want to, maybe the achievement is getting rid of that bad habit, right? Reach out to your own environment, right? To the people that can hold you accountable, right? Whether they're friends or colleagues or spouses, mentors or coaches. Make sure that you assign somebody as your accountability partner to help guarantee your consistency, right, in that pursuit. And make sure that it's somebody that will actually hold you accountable, right? It doesn't help to assign somebody as your accountability partner and then have them go, oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. You'll do it tomorrow. Good job.
Right.
I know you're busy, right? Don't have your mom be your accountability partner, right? Some of your moms, not my mom. My mom would have kicked me in the butt. But some of you, it's all right, honey. You'll get it done tomorrow, right? You need somebody that's going to hold you accountable and give you some crap for not getting it done, right? To push back. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the cool thing is too, you can be their accountability partner. That'll work in some dynamics, not all, but you can be someone's accountability partner as well, not just taking in the relationship, but also giving and helping them stay consistent with their goals. And if it is that kind of dynamic where both of that, like Jay said, you're not a yes man to them, you can really both benefit from that situation. I mean, there's been times with some younger married couples that I know that one of the gentlemen in the relationship, he was struggling. He was struggling with a few things, and I had to give him a kick in the butt. And I was like, you just gotta get back on track, man. I mean, that's not something. Sometimes it takes that force to be like, dude, snap out of it, man. You're an idiot right now. Right. And sometimes that's what they need. So you can do that for them and they can do that for you. And it can really be a powerful, powerful thing to help you be the person you want to be consistently and reach those goals that you want to achieve. All right. So we appreciate you. We hope you have an incredible week. God bless you all. And thanks for watching once again. Take care. Thanks, Jerry. Oh, hold on. There we go.